we're in one of our once in every generation or two political reshufflings, and as long as that is going on, we really don't have eyes for the rest of the world. So there's a huge strategic and economic opportunity here for the long run if the United States chose to lead and kind of define what the new world was going to be. What I've outlined here is probably what's going to happen on autopilot, and in many cases because the Australians and the Canadians and the Japanese are doing most of the diplomatic heavy lifting. Thank God they're there, because it would be a mess otherwise. One of the great things to keep in mind about the United States is because the population is so big and so young, and because the land area is so huge and so fertile, we've never had to be at the top of our game. We can rely on geography and demography to do most of the heavy lifting for us, and that allows our politics to be completely batshit. Yes, this isn't France, where if you screw up, you have to pay for it for 2 generations. While most of Europe and Japan and Korea have that V shape in their demographics, ours is more of a double hourglass, because we've got a bulge where the boomers are and then a bulge where the millennials are, but then a big cutout for Gen X and a big cutout for the Zoomers. The ins and outs of that are going to dominate our economic and our financial world for forever. So right now we're about to go through a capital crunch. In 15 years, when the millennials are in their 50s, we will be going through a capital boom. As a rule, large generations make large generations and small generations make small generations. So we would expect this wave to continue. What that means is that the American propensity for overdoing things and then overcorrecting, that's just part of our DNA now, and it's backed up by our demographics. That will take us all number of bizarre directions, and we will drag along a lot of other countries for the ride. That's what the data we have today suggests, but I've got to underline, we're in uncharted territory here. The world has never had a population bust without having some sort of massive endemic disease or war event. So when I say, the Chinese collapse has to happen, I don't know how you make it work without kids or young adults. When I say that the Americans are going to experience another baby boom as the millennials really come into their own, history and data suggests that, but we've really never seen this combination of factors before. The Zoomers, I have concerns. They are not like millennials. Millennials are very outgoing, they're very social, because they were raised by the baby boomers and they were always told that they were special. That's one of the reasons why a third of them still live at home. The Zoomers were raised by Gen X, my generation. And we took a very different view of things. We kept track of the score at the soccer game. We wrote it down. We showed it to them before each game. We read it to them to bed so that they wouldn't forget. And when they turn 18, they're the hell out of the house. They're insular. They're competitive. They don't like relying on anyone for anything. And so the whole group dynamics and managerial dynamics that the millennials are positively known for and recognized for, they're the antithesis. Their dream job is to code alone in the dark in a closet. And that makes it hard to have kids. So I think we can guarantee that when it's the Zoomers' time, when they're in their 30s, that their birth rates are going to be low. Their marriage rates are probably going to be the worst we've ever had. Their suicide rates are already the worst we've ever had. Before we start talking about deglobalization, so assuming that globalization continues from its height onward, we were already in the process of revising down our estimates. So it used to be 15 years ago that we thought by 2050 we were going to have 11 to 12 billion people. That number is now under 10, and as the data continues to get upgraded, we'll probably, assuming nothing goes wrong, peak at just below 9 and then start falling back gently. If I'm right about deglobalization, we're going to have a significantly sharper drop-off, and as soon as globalization hits agriculture at large, which may be in the fourth quarter of this year, population peaks. Absolutely. So pros and cons. There are a lot of technologies with automation, AI, and robotics that look really good. Now, AI, the whole idea of general AI and Skynet, we're decades away from that. So I'm going to put that in a box. I'll let Elon Musk talk about that. AI is all about image recognition today and getting it so that machines can recognize different things and then do pre-programmed tasks. There's no real autonomy, but it's automated. That allows manufacturing to reshape, but it also requires massive economies of scale. The most expensive thing a country can do isn't industrialize, it's to automate. And it's not a one-off cost. You have to constantly update it because every time there's a change to the production line, you more or less have to start over with the programming. So it's a very expensive way to go. It does use different labor and less labor, but it's not clear to me that it really moves the needle in a huge way. And if we're breaking down global transport and intermediate goods trade, then we're losing the economies of scale that make that model work. In North America, where you've got 1/3 of global consumption, we'll probably still be doing that. But I see that broadly leaving the East Asian sphere, which combined with their bad demographics are awful. We also have the baby boomers leaving, so we know that the capital crunch is coming. That means less money is available to do this sort of upgrading. The technologies I'm most interested in are the combination of automation and agriculture. We're very close to having facilities that you can latch onto a tractor that identify each individual plant and identify if it needs water or fertilizer or pesticide or if it's a weed or whatever, and then it gets a squirt of whatever is appropriate. So you do like 6 passes of stuff in one pass, and each plant gets individual attention. That suggests that we would be able to reduce fertilizer and pesticide use by 80% and maybe even double yields. But again, economies of scale. It only works on mega farms where you can afford the equipment cost. So if you've got giant farms in the United States or the Netherlands or Argentina or Australia, sure. Doesn't work for most of the world. Well, we've been a little bit lucky that the Chinese have kind of become a bag of dicks and really encouraged everyone to outsource and resource everything that they can. That's bought us a lot of time. Now, in the United States, everyone is paranoid about semiconductors, and we all see that 12% number that the U.S. now only produces 12% of global chips as a panic point. But that's by number. By value, we produce 60%. So all the good chips are designed in Japan and the United States. They might be manufactured somewhere else if they're further down the scale. But in terms of cell phones and server farms, the important stuff, that's already safe. The problem is going to be the mid and the lower end. The mid ones are usually Malaysia and Thailand. The lower ones are almost certainly China. So when you're talking about the lower tech stuff, the Internet of Things, yeah, that's just going away. But I'd argue that I don't really need a meat thermometer that is going to tell my phone what the temperature of the meat is. I mean, we can get by without that, I think. It's overall electronics manufacturing.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another brand new video. In this video, I have bring a different content to you. In this video, thermal geopolitics analyzer and economic analyzer Peter Zeihan has discussed about Chinese economy. He says China's collapse is inevitable. Because China's collapse is inevitable, because China is losing its economic status. So if you like to watch Peter Zeihan explain content, then you can subscribe my channel yourself. So I think this video will be enjoyable for you, and I hope you will enjoy this video. So guys, keep watching. Thank you guys for watching my channel, and special thanks to them who have liked my videos, always watch my videos. I'm very grateful to them. Hope this video will be I'll be back with another content another next time. So let subscribe my channel and we watch my channel always. Thank you guys for supporting me and my channel. Now I'm going to end this video from here. I'll be back with another content next time. Bye for now. Love you guys.